man, what it do to it's your boy back again with another video, man. I'm doing these impressions again. It's gonna be another double upload just because I want to, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited, and you know, when people are excited, they constantly trying to watch it. I heard that Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero coming out, man. They said that shit raw. Way said that. They said the people I seen play it, they said it's raw. So be watching up on that on my spare time, you know what I'm saying? I'm really not no fighting game, you know what I'm saying, fighting game dude. You know what I'm saying? But I do, you know what I'm saying, I do like watching the comp people play that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, subscribe. It's 28 minutes, so let's get straight into it, man. Subscribe to Merc Music. Been watching him for a long time.
What you're seeing right now is a first look at BO6 multiplayer. In the last Black Ops 6 video I made, I got to share with you guys that I was invited to Treyarch to play and learn about Black Ops 6 early. But since the Black Ops 6 Direct event happened, there is a ton of more information about the game that got revealed, and there's even some Easter eggs and secret information about the game's multiplayer that I'm pretty sure all of us missed. So in this video, I'm going to fully break down the Black Ops 6 Direct event, go over some tweets that reveal even more about the game's multiplayer, and also discuss some of the criticisms and topics that the COD community has so far with the game. So yeah, if you guys do enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe for more Black Ops 6 stuff, and let's get into it. To kick this off, let's go back to the HUD preset section of the gameplay footage, where you can get a pretty good look at what multiplayer gameplay is going to look like for Black Ops 6 versus the cinematic footage. And honestly, I think a lot of people might have missed this the first time around, but you can clearly see on the right that there are some perks, as well as what almost looks like a bonus perk. Now, obviously, since this is early multiplayer footage, I'm sure these are just temporary names for the perks.
Having three green,
you can see the perks are labeled
perks
as
right there.
Movement speed, attack sprint speed, and quick regen. Now, we don't even know if those perks might actually make it into the full game, but that's just what it says right here. And as you can see, there's also another little emblem below those three main perks. And later in this video, as well as the Black Ops 6 Direct video itself, they specifically talk about three main playstyles that they were focusing on. So maybe these perks are tied specifically to people who are focusing on their movement and the ability to regen health. But this is actually our first look at Black Ops 6 perks, and I didn't really see anyone talk about this too much, but it's right here. It was part of the event, which is just crazy. Now, again, this is just my speculation. We don't know exactly how the perk system is going to work. I don't know if this is a specialist bonus or something, but at any point throughout this video, if you guys have any guesses as to what some of these things are, definitely leave a comment letting me know. But moving on past that, at this section of the video, you can see a sniper rifle on screen, as well as what almost looks like search and destroy. If we zoom in here, we can clearly see a victory screen that shows 3-0. So there's a good chance that it could be search and destroy, or possibly some other game mode, but I think it does kind of confirm search and destroy. And honestly, it'd be pretty weird if Black Ops 6 didn't have it, but that's just my guess. Up next, we have a pretty unique scene that shows a baseball bat.
I really know such a story type of person, you know what I'm saying? I like to go crazy.
So yeah, maybe a baseball bat is going to be a melee weapon in multiplayer, but this could also be campaign footage. We don't know exactly what it is, but I just figured I'd point it out. It looked pretty cool. In this footage right here, you can clearly see a casino map, which is actually shown quite a bit throughout.
I'm not trying to kill nobody, I'm trying to gamble.
You can also see the return of doors, which will most likely be a part of multiplayer as well. And in this scene, you can see a soldier rappelling, but I don't necessarily know if that would be a part of multiplayer or if it's just a campaign cinematic, but I figured I'd point it out as well. Now, in this scene right here, you can see someone loading up into a game mode, and it says intercept on the center of the screen. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a brand new game mode, because if you zoom in, it almost kind of looks like they're playing domination, because there's like three little things on the mini map on the left, but
it might be
really
King
hard to make
if you ever
out. You guys
play
can let me know what you
Halo,
think this is, but I think it could be a new game
it might be. I don't know. I ain't gonna say it is.
Now, in this
might be
section
that.
of the events, you can see
the
some
little King of the Hill where you gotta stay in there,
from campaign.
cap it.
We have
you know
this pretty sick dirt bike that Adler is riding, but I still wanted to point this out because there is a pretty good chance that vehicles could be back in multiplayer if Treyarch decides to bring back Fireteam Dirty Bomb or Combined Arms from Black Ops Cold War. Again, that is not confirmed at all in the Black Ops 6 Direct events, but I just figured I'd mention that because obviously they're showing vehicles here, and I wanted to have a discussion about vehicles in multiplayer, and sometimes not including things can lead to other kinds of speculation, you know, like whether or not ground war or anything similar to that could be in the game. But as of now, it's purely just speculation. Let's move on. We do actually have a number of different weapons being shown off in different scenes. We have what looks to be an AK-47, an MP5, and in this scene we have an M4, as well as a silenced USP-45 pistol, which is pretty sick. Now, in this shot, I'm not exactly sure what it could be. It looks like it might be an FAL or some type of marksman rifle. Now, in this scene right here, you can see on the HUD that it says 100 health, which confirms that Black Ops 6 is going to have 100 health. We don't have to worry about having 150 health or something like that, so that's pretty good to see. And you can also see on the HUD that there's some kind of mechanics involving warnings and budgets, which granted, this has more to do with the campaign campaign than anything, but I'm pretty sure the multiplayer will have 100 health. I'm not too sure
Shit,
about
I
the
really don't care.
thing, but I wanted to point
As long
that
as
out
the
well.
guns
But
ain't
after that, we
straight
can
too
see what
hard.
looks to be the M16 returning in Black Ops 6, and we also have some more guns. Obviously, the M4 is going to be showing up quite a lot throughout the Black Ops 6 Direct events, and I'm not exactly sure what this gun is. My guess was the AS Val, but I'm really not too sure. You guys can let me know what you think, though. In this shot right here, we have some more vehicles,
They're
which
like
are,
Summit
pretty typical transport
or,
vehicles, nothing too crazy, but it looks
WMD.
like there are red barrels. So maybe classic red barrels, which you could shoot and explode and kill enemies with. Maybe that's going to be in multiplayer as well, or maybe it would just be in the campaign. We'll have to wait and see. And there's also some kind of LMG, but I'm not quite sure what it is.
Oh no, I like the 150 though.
And some kind of pump shotgun, which we actually will get some specific names. But
I think that's the shotgun we get that the massacre for
Black Ops
too.
6 Direct events, they're talking about different enemy types in the campaign, and this does have me curious as to whether or not they might have a Juggernaut type kill streak in multiplayer, since I would imagine it'd be pretty easy to bring this from campaign into multiplayer, but that's just speculation. We don't know for sure. But even then, the different enemy types for the campaign look pretty sick. In this scene right here, you can see a launcher as well as a stationary turret. Now again, this is from campaign, but I'm pretty sure the launcher will be in multiplayer. I'm not too sure about the stationary turrets, but it would be pretty interesting to see mechanics like this come back into Call of Duty. You know, like in the past with other Call of Duty games like COD 4, we would have turrets built into the map and you could get on them and shoot people. I don't think they would necessarily bring that back, but man, that was just such an awesome classic feature of older maps, and I figured I'd point that out as well. In this section of the gameplay right here, you can see another LMG on the ground as well as the AK-74U, so I'm pretty sure that
might be a little stoner.
Game. Next up, we have the RCXD, which is just Black Ops 6 kill streak. And granted, in this section, they're also talking about campaign, but I'm pretty sure this is going to make its way into multiplayer as well. They also mention a tranquilizer trap, an adrenaline stim, a homing knife, which is like a throwing knife that looks like it's going to follow to the enemies and stuff. I don't know if they put this in multiplayer, but still looks really sick. And they're also showcasing another gadget called the Disruptor, which honestly looks like a shock charge. Now again, these are all gadgets for campaign, but I wouldn't be surprised if some of them make their way into multiplayer as well. Now in this little section right here, we can see a small SMG on the table.
You know
I'm
what I'm
not sure
saying?
if it's the lava SMG from
I'm gonna say this. That's the no. That was a no,
or something else, but again, you guys can let me know what you think. And in this shot right here, we can see some more guns on display at the safe house from the campaign, but I'm pretty sure
what's that gun that was in the massacre?
Guns so
that's
far.
the one I need to
this
see.
This is the big one right here. This is the full breakdown on the Omni movement system in Black Ops 6. There's a lot of different gameplay shown, and I'm pretty sure this is taken in multiplayer. And as you guys can see, there's a big breakdown on how the movement system works. You know, in my previous video, I was only really able to talk about how sprinting sideways,
combat X,
backwards is going to work, as well as sliding sideways, sliding backwards, diving sideways, diving backwards. You can see it all in these shots, and man, it just looks so awesome. And like I said in the previous video, it really feels
this shit
like
ain't gonna be hot, man. This shit is in my head, man.
Traditional Call of Duty movement, I can't get it out. Doesn't have too many things to offer versus the exosuit movement. It feels like it's a good in between, and Treyarch continues to innovate and to try to do something different. On top of that as well, you guys get to see what supine prone looks like, which is basically more realistic prone movement versus what we've had in the past with Call of Duty. And one thing I want to mention as well, which I don't know if we have full confirmation of, is these specific scenes right here which show the movement being turned on and off. I don't know if this is purely just a visual thing, or if we will have the option to disable this type of movement in the settings. We don't know for sure quite yet. This could just be part of the presentation, or maybe we will be able to disable what the movement looks like in game, but we don't know for sure. Now I'm pretty sure during this sequence of events you can see a combat axe being thrown, which confirms that the combat axe is going to be in multiplayer, which is so sick, dude. Again, I have no idea if that homing knife is going to make its way into multiplayer, but I'm sure the combat axe will be coming back for sure. And in this section of the video where they're talking about movement, you can also see the intelligent movement system, which features the corner slicing that I was talking about in the last video as well. Now granted, I kind of got this stuff.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna stop pausing. Remember, they got the little family shit with the guns. So the M16, the M4 probably in the family group. That's M some.
The intelligent
family
is
group LMG.
Just contextual stuff that is in the settings of the game to reduce the amount of times you might have to press buttons. Now, personally, I would probably leave these settings off depending on how good the contextual mantling and crouching and sliding and all that stuff is. But I mean, honestly, I like to have more control over how my character is moving in game. But this could be a very useful setting for players who maybe don't want to have to click as many buttons to do all of that stuff, you know? But the corner slicing stuff is definitely more of an immersion thing. Your character will just kind of contextually sort sort of lean as you turn corners. And again, you don't have to do anything manually to trigger this. It's just going to happen in the game. Now, in fairness, I actually forgot to talk about this in the last video, but we have the footage, which is just going to make a lot more sense when I talk about this. But Treyarch has expanded the amount of hit zones, and they've also created a ton
to bring back that animation in Black Ops too. If you got
when your character dies, which
with a sniper,
honestly just kind of looks hilarious.
Nigga stop moving.
I personally think it's a great bit of detail for the multiplayer, and I think it's really sick. But moving on past that, we also have the return of weapon inspects, which has obviously kind of been a staple in newer Call of Duty games as well, but it's nice to see it in their breakdown. And in this shot right here, we can also see a combat knife. Now, granted, they were kind of more or less showing off like the hands and all the detail in the game, but this just kind of confirms that the combat knife will be in the game. And in this section of the Black Ops 6 Direct, they're specifically talking about brand new guns. Now, I did see some people in my comment section of the last video kind of saying stuff
third
about
option
it's
weapon.
Not really that big
So like a knife.
We should be expecting new guns, and obviously we should. But at the same
I know they're gonna
time,
have a mace in the game, sword probably.
And reused guns from previous games. So when we're talking about brand new guns, this allows Black Ops 6 to kind of shape the identity of the game and really be able to deliver us new experiences with guns that we've just never even seen or used before in a COD game. Which again is why I wanted to shine a spotlight on that, because we could have just obviously gotten nothing but old guns, and specifically in this section of the video, they're just mentioning that there will be brand new guns to use that we've never used before, including this sniper right here. I'm not exactly sure if we've had this one before, but I mean, they did show it off, so it could be brand new, but we'll have to wait and see. They also show off a prox mine with 4 claymore strapped to it, which looks absolutely horrifying. I don't know if that's gonna be
that nigga ears gonna go crazy with that.
Streak, but they showed it off. I just wanted to point it out. In this next clip right here, we can see on the monitor the gunsmith, which I did want to kind of discuss attachments. Because I'm gonna be honest, dude, I don't know what people want in terms of attachments anymore in Call of Duty. Like, if we go back to how it was before, where you can only have like 1 or 2 attachments, maybe 3, I feel like people will complain that they're not able to customize their gun as much and utilize as many attachments.
Weirdos.
The gunsmith has honestly really changed Call of Duty for better or for worse, depending on whether or not you like the system or not. But if Black Ops 6's multiplayer is anything like Black Ops
streaks,
War,
abundance
pretty good
attachments and shit. That's all I don't.
Put on 5 attachments, and maybe if they have some kind of wild card, you could have more attachments on the gun, but we don't know that for sure. But this specific section of the video does at least just confirm that the gunsmith is coming back.
Probably 8, and that's a camo slot. No cosmetics right there. So it's not an attachment slot.
Would you prefer to have less attachments on your guns, or do you want it to be crazy like Vanguard, where you can have?
I don't want no 10 on my shit. Niggas still ass in the damn game.
But dude, this scene right here, we cannot overlook this, because even though they're just showing off the multiplayer menu, there is so much information here to take in. The most important thing that I think a lot of you guys are going to be excited to hear is that Nuketown will be returning, because as you can see, whoever was playing,
we gonna get standoff later in the year. We gonna get standoff. We gonna get jungle. We gonna get raid. We gonna get
Black Ops.
We might get express.
Like I mentioned in my previous video,
we might get. I think they said we get ground.
They did make a mention of 16 brand new maps at launch, but they didn't mention Nuketown at launch. So we don't know for sure if Nuketown will be available to play right at the launch of Black Ops 6. But in my opinion, I think that could be a good thing, because if Treyarch has spent a lot of time working hard on brand new maps, I feel like we should really try to give those a chance and play those before Nuketown 24/7 completely takes over.
Where's the Nuketown, man? Niggas be on Nuketown 24/7. This took 30 kills. Come on, man.
Menu, which is pretty sick. On the multiplayer menu as well, we could see characters on display, which has become pretty standard for a lot of different menus. But again, I'm sure that specific menu is subject to change, because it is still kind of early right now. We can also see what looks to be daily challenges, or some kind of challenges where you can maybe either.
Let me tell y'all something. Save up all your tokens. Your tokens is transferring over.
Tokens as well. It just depends.
Save up all your tokens. I got 100.
And overall, the menu does look pretty.
I think I got 192 now. Because I'm about to be done with the battle pass. I'm trying to get done with the battle pass. So by the time this come out, I shall have like 215, 230.
Menu just casually in this shot. And in this shot right here, we can clearly see the return of field upgrades, and we can kind of see the
ain't got no problem with that
screen as well. I can't really mention anything too specific because it's really hard to make out, but you can see field upgrades definitely coming back. And obviously the game's gonna have perks because it's a COD game. But next up in this section, we got a lot more information about classic prestige mode in Black Ops 6. Obviously at this point, it's confirmed that Black Ops 6 is going to have classic prestige mode, where you start out at level 1, you're gonna rank up to level 55, and there's going to be a total of 10 prestiges. And once you hit 10th prestige, you can start working your way up to prestige master level 1000, and there's going to be a special classified reward. We have no idea what it's going to be, and I'm sure
watch it be a
single word about it.
What's this shit
but you'll be able
called?
to start grinding the prestige
charm.
mode in
Watch it
Black
be a
Ops
charm.
6 on
Watch.
day one. And real quickly, while we're talking about prestige mode coming back, a lot of people are saying that this was just a basic staple feature that a lot of the old COD games had, which is true, but do keep in mind that Black Ops Cold War did not have classic prestige mode. A lot of the recent Call of Duty games have actually not had this. So even though this used to be a consistent regular feature of older Call of Duty games, it hasn't been a consistent regular feature for the new COD games. It's not that we're trying to overhype it or make a big deal out of it, but the reason why this is getting so much attention and getting so much praise is because it shows that Treyarch is listening to the community and implementing features that we really want the games to have.
Right.
Is a very good thing. They could have easily just ignored this
No,
feedback
fuck
and
no,
not
you get the battle
implemented
pass
classic
bullshit.
prestige mode, but they went ahead and did it. And this is why I'm going to start calling them treyarch. Now in this section where they're talking about Black Ops 6 multiplayer, they specifically mention 3 playstyles that they focused on for Black Ops 6. And the names of these 3 playstyles are Enforcer, Recon, and Strategist. Now like I mentioned at the start of the video where we had 3 different perks that were kind of tailored more towards movement speed, attack sprint speed, and quick regen with that little extra bonus thing at the bottom. I'm thinking that this might have something to do with the Enforcer playstyle because I think that's more or less what that one is geared towards. And we can see a scene right here where they're talking about the
wait a minute. No. They can't be quick regen for 100 health. Just thought about that. There's no point because
Recon playstyle where it almost looks like they have wall hacks. Like you can see people through the wall, which is pretty crazy. And the strategist playstyle has more to do with like taking out kill streaks and being more of a support player, which is obviously very important in the game. But I want to back it up to the recon thing with wall hacks because I'm not exactly sure how people are going to be feeling about this, and I don't even know how you achieve this. Maybe it has something to do with a specialist bonus or something, but we'll have to wait and see. Still absolutely insane stuff, man. And the main reason I'm mentioning that is because we haven't had abilities like that since like Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 4, with I think specifically Recon's ability to see through walls. So yeah, I don't know if they're potentially trying to tease the idea of specialists coming back in Black Ops 6, but that's just my speculation. I don't know if that's really the route that they want to take the game in. Basically, having wall hacks is a pretty insane ability, and I don't know if we'd be able to get that just through the addition of perks. But again, we'll have to wait and see. This is still very early for Black Ops 6's multiplayer. But after that, we see the return of theater mode. They confirm that it will be in multiplayer. We don't get to see any specific footage of theater mode being used in Black Ops 6, and they didn't give us a ton of information about how it's going to work. But like I mentioned in the last video, this is an amazing feature coming back in Black Ops 6. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. This needs to be a staple feature in all Call of Duty games.
I forgot Cold War had that
there's
shit.
Another mention of 16 brand new maps for Black Ops 6's multiplayer, which we already know at this point. 12 of those will be core 6v6 maps, and 4 of them will be strike maps for 6v6 and 2v2 as well. But they did go more in depth about talking about the map design and what they have planned for Black Ops 6. Specifically that they're going to mostly be classic 3-lane maps for multiplayer, and they're mostly going to be medium sized because they felt like that is what we want most out of our maps in Call of Duty, which is awesome to see. And they also mentioned that they're going to feature locations from the campaign, which is obviously pretty typical. We doing that. Awesome news for the Black Ops 6 maps. After that, there's a mention of Call of Duty Next, which is going to be happening on August 28th, which is going to have the full reveal of Black Ops 6's multiplayer. And there was also a mention about the open beta for multiplayer, but we'll talk about the timing of that and more specific details later in the video.
Am I allowed to
I bought the $100, man. I spend my money, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, bro, I'm ready for this shit, man. I can't lie, bro. So I'm always getting ready, man, trying to get better. I'm already a good player as it is, but it's always for room for improvements. Come on, we on the other half.
Towards the end of the video as well, this definitely looks like the Lapa SMG from Cold War in this shot of the casino map. And at the end of the Black Ops 6 direct events, they start talking about pre-order bonuses and stuff where we can actually learn a lot of stuff about the game. Now, when they showed this, it flashed by really quick, but we're going to slowly break down all of this. So right off the bat, you can get some different skins for pre-ordering the game. Obviously, pre-ordering the game is totally up to you. We can also see the return of Mastercraft weapons as well as the Black Cell Battle Pass and even Gobblegums returning for zombies. But this is what I found really interesting. At the end of it all, we get confirmation of different weapon names in the game. You can see the Jackal PDW, the LR762, which looks like the sniper rifle that we've seen before in the game. I'm pretty sure this is the pump shotgun that I mentioned before. It's called the Marine SP. I'm sure there's a pretty good chance that this LMG was shown somewhere in the video as well, but it is the Amis 85, and then again, we got the combat knife. Now that's everything that we could dissect and analyze from the Black Ops 6 direct event itself, but now let's go look at some tweets, which will give us even more info about
he filling me saying,
this doesn't have anything to do with the game's multiplayer, but Charlie Intel tweeted this out saying that Blackout is not returning as far as goes for, you know, Battle Royale and stuff for Black Ops 6. Just figured I'd point that out as well. In this tweet right here, Charlie Intel mentions that there might be some early access offers for Black Ops 6 if you pre-order the game. The PlayStation Store currently lists the release date as October 17th at 1 p.m. Eastern time, which is a week early. There's no official confirmation.
That might be the which call.
But if it's anything like we've seen with recent Call of Duty games, it looks like if you pre-order the
might be the campaign
Black Ops 6, you'll most likely be able to play the campaign 1 week early if it follows suit and if it follows trends with what we've seen with recent Call of Duty games. But again, it hasn't been officially confirmed, but that's my best guess. In this tweet right here, Charlie Intel confirms that the Black Ops 6 beta will be available at the same time for every platform, which is pretty interesting. We haven't seen that in quite a while for Call of Duty. In this tweet, we have an update on the carry forward system.
None of that shit will be carrying over, yes.
All the content from Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and Black Ops 6 will be available in Warzone, but in Black Ops 6's multiplayer and zombies, only Black Ops 6 content will be available to use. That is very interesting to see. So Warzone is potentially going to have all of those guns and skins and stuff, but specifically Black Ops 6's multiplayer and zombies will only have Black Ops 6 content. That is actually really good to hear because at least at launch, Black Ops 6's identity will be a little bit more solidified with the content that exists within the game, and it's not going to have the carry forward content from Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3.
Like, nigga, first day one, you turn over, you see Homeland, nigga. Turn to your Nicki Minaj. I can't do it.
Away from that. Again, we have no idea what the post.
And then the niggas going negative.
Like, you know what I'm saying? But hopefully it won't be anything too crazy. Okay, so this is definitely a really interesting breakdown of the perk system of the game. Here, Charlie Intel says that in Black Ops 6, there's 3 categories.
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier.
Enforcer, Recon, and Strategist. So it's not just the playstyles; it's actually the categories of perks too. And they're divided in perk 1, 2, and 3. And if you equip the same category of perks across all 3, you get a specialty. And his example says if you equip all 3 Enforcer perks,
gonna bring back
speed and health regen increase with each kill. So basically quick fix. So there you go. Now granted, this is just a sampling of how the perk system is going to work, but that's definitely very interesting.
It's gonna bring back my different class setups, you know what I'm saying?
Player loadouts. You'll get a primary weapon, a secondary weapon, and a dedicated melee slot, as well as a lethal, tactical, and field upgrade. And you'll have 3 perks with a perk specialty if you decide to go with that route, as well as the wild card system coming back in the game. And there you go. 5 attachments.
You know he played if you got 8 attachments.
A wild card. So pretty similar to how
this is for a video. You know
so this is a pretty interesting tweet right here. It says that Treyarch confirmed to IGN that they will be adding all sorts of skins to Black Ops 6 post-launch, but day 1 will focus on the base/immersive items. They said, quote, so day 1, you won't be running around with any of those skins, so that it doesn't break that immersion in that narrative we want. Now, of course, we're going to add those things into post-launch. We know players like those stuff. Interesting wording there, but and then we'll find really cool things to tie that to Black Ops lore and also new exciting stuff as well. So I mean, again, we don't know
the game
exactly
good.
How the post-launch stuff is going to be.
Y'all don't see that. You're gonna see that content
right off the bat. They could go Insano style and have emoji bundles in the game. But realistically, I feel like Treyarch is going to go more in the direction of the stuff that they did with Cold War, which they really didn't go too insane with it. I mean, we had a couple of different clown skins, but I don't necessarily see them doing anything as insane as we've seen recently with Modern Warfare 3. But not gonna lie, man, I do find some of those skins really funny. It's really
bring back the stream.
Wacky, and I know
if I can, bring back Saul. I missed out on Saul in 19.
Guys, and ultimately, it's not my choice; it's theirs. But let's move on. Activision is saying that there's a persistent internet connection required to play all modes of Black Ops 6, including the campaign. Now, I'm not exactly sure why that is the case. I don't understand the technical reason why that's the case, but it does seem kind of goofy that you would need an internet connection to play campaign, and maybe that has something to do with the texture streaming, which is mentioned right here. So yeah, I don't know if texture streaming is going to be required to be on at all times, because in some games you can turn it off, but we'll have to see how that's going to work out in Black Ops 6. But let's be real, you're going to need an internet connection to download the game in the first place, so I don't really see
I really don't care. Everybody
anyway, but
you playing this game, you got internet.
This week we have some additional Black Ops 6 details. The campaign is similar in length to classic Call of Duty campaigns. They only decided recently that Black Ops 6 would be on Game Pass, and it confirms that there were 4 years of dev time, and says a lot of it was getting Treyarch onto the unified engine. So that's pretty interesting. Charlie Intel also recently tweeted saying that the Black Ops 6 pre-order early access beta may be from August 28th through September 3rd. From this image right here, you can clearly say that it says pre-order beta from August 28th to the 3rd. Charlie Intel also says right here that traditional score streaks are in Black Ops 6's multiplayer, not the Cold War system. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of forgot how that system worked, but if you understand what this means, then there you go.
So no, this I don't give a fuck. This no air patrols. Let the streets work. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I need my tech chopper to go crazy. I heard there's a hand cannon in there. And hater.
I mean, I
They're gonna call it a
score
hater.
streaks and kill streaks
But
work.
if you know
Honestly, I don't
haters, they
remember
dance,
exactly how
you'll be-
Cold War differs, but we're gonna keep going. But yeah, at least at the time of recording this now, that's all we have for tweets regarding Black Ops 6. But now let's discuss some of the issues, at least the ones that I've seen on social media and some of the stuff that people are saying about the game. Right off the bat, let's just get right into it because a lot of people have obviously talked about this and mentioned it, and I'm obviously no stranger to talking about this either, but let's talk about skill-based matchmaking and possibly even engagement-optimized matchmaking in Call of Duty. This has been one of the hottest topics, and it's going to continue to be a hot topic until something significant changes, right? Now, we obviously don't know anything about how matchmaking is going to work in Black Ops 6, but I do want to specifically just mention this because this is something that I've mentioned quite a lot in recent videos, and I'm not going to stop mentioning it because I really do feel like it's important for Call of Duty to take this into account. Hopefully, I'll be able to find a clip of me doing this, but this is what matchmaking looks like in the original Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Now, granted, the game is a lot smaller in scope. There's not as much going on, and the file sizes of the maps and everything are much smaller. But it is extremely fast to matchmake and get into a game on Call of Duty 4 and a lot of the older COD games as well. Now, here is a clip of me matchmaking in XDefiant, which just came out this year. As you can see, I get put into a match really fast on a consistent basis, and I'm usually into the actual game itself and playing typically in less than a minute. It's a really fast process, and they streamlined this and they made it very efficient. Whereas when it comes to matchmaking in newer Call of Duty games, unfortunately, the process has gotten very slow. There's nothing that we can do or say to get them to change how skill-based matchmaking or engagement-optimized matchmaking works. Their matchmaking system, that's their deal, and obviously they're going to run it however they want to. The only thing that I really want to push for and ask for, which I feel like is a good compromise,
loosen that shit up for the
matchmaking itself to be fast, because one thing that people have obviously caught on to, and it's something that you can't ignore, especially with the release of XDefiant, is just how fast the matchmaking is. There's way less wasted time, and you ultimately just get to play more of the video game itself compared to newer Call of Duty games. So this is my big ask. Regardless of how the matchmaking system works, I really do hope that in Black Ops 6, the matchmaking itself will just get you into a game faster. Now, even though this is something that I'm really hoping and wishing for, I'm not going to get my expectations too high with how the matchmaking system is going to work, but obviously this is a pain point for a lot of players. A lot of people
bet you that game already started
with how matchmaking has been working in newer Call of Duty games, and I really do hope that in Black Ops 6 and in future Call of Duty titles, this is something that can continue to be improved upon and worked on. The next thing I want to talk about, which is obviously a lot more opinionated, is the fact that people are looking at Black Ops 6 and just saying, this looks like Cold War DLC. Now, I just want to make it very clear that I am not someone who makes these games. I just play them and enjoy them and obviously make content on them. So I don't really have a lot of stakes in this, but when people are looking at Black Ops 6 and all the different features and all the amazing things that Treyarch has done here, and their main takeaway is that they're just calling it Cold War DLC, I don't really know what they're on about. I mean, dude, just look at the past with Call of Duty. Going from COD 4 to Modern Warfare 2 to the original Modern Warfare 3, even Black Ops 1 to 2. You could technically look at all of those games and just say that they are DLCs, and people even made fun of the transition from the OG Modern Warfare 2 to Modern Warfare 3, calling it Modern Warfare 2.1 or Modern Warfare 2.5.
Yeah, I was there for that shit, you know what I'm saying?
DLCs back then, so this is just honestly a really like non-points, at least to me. I just found it kind of funny.
Yeah, we've been through this shit. I mean, I'm 20 years old, going 21, bro. By the time the game come out, I will be 21, bro.
To Cold War, especially when people are saying this about Modern Warfare 3 2023 coming off of Modern Warfare 2 2022. Obviously, with those two games, they could draw those comparisons and come to their own conclusions about whether or not they feel like the game is.
She already bought it. It don't matter.
As someone who has actually played days upon days of Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer and the zombies, and also playing the campaign as well, you do have to recognize and understand that Sledgehammer Games only had 16 months to work on Modern Warfare 3, so obviously it's not going to have nearly as much polish compared to a game like Black Ops 6, which had 4 years of dev time. But even then, Sledgehammer Games did an incredible job with Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer in terms of listening to feedback and giving us a lot of regular good consistent
content. They tried. You know what I'm saying? They tried.
Obviously, that doesn't necessarily translate to how zombies turned out and how the campaign turned out, but the main reason why I evaluate and judge this through the lens of multiplayer is because that's what I almost always play more than anything else in these Call of Duty games, so because that's what's most important to me. So yeah, people calling Black Ops 6 Cold War DLC,
don't give a fuck.
That's how they feel, fine. There's a pretty good chance that their opinion is not going to be changed if that's all they can come to a conclusion of after everything that Treyarch has shown off. So we're going to move on. But next up is something that could have potentially been objectively bad, which is the fact that there was a lot of stuff going on about Black Ops 6 being 300 gigs as a file size.
It's not possible.
No, I got the space for it.
Updates Twitter account did correct this. They said the estimated file size currently displayed on the Black Ops 6 pre-order pages does not represent the download side or disc footprint for Black Ops 6. They specifically said that the sizes as shown include the full installations of Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, Warzone, and all relevant content packs,
no, that shit getting
all
deleted off my
localized
shit.
languages combined, which is not representative of a typical player install experience, which honestly, that seems pretty obvious. Since Modern Warfare 2 and 3, as well as Black Ops 6 and Warzone, all use the same HQ, they all use the same app. If you install and have everything for those games, yeah, the file size is going to be massive, but ultimately Black Ops 6 itself is not going to be 300 gigs.
Like
they do mention
85,
here at the bottom
90.
saying that the actual estimation of the Black Ops 6 file size will be available closer to launch. Now, honestly, if we had to break this up, it's 3 different games. I mean, honestly, we have Warzone as well. But if we do some quick maths here, we have 3 Call of Duty games coming out to roughly 300 gigs. So pretty safe to assume that it's probably going to be 100 gigs per game, which means that Black Ops 6 could be roughly 100 gigs. So if you're short on space,
I'm like
you
a
need to figure
90,
out however much you need
85.
to get the game, I would probably prepare for 100 gigs for Black Ops 6. But again, that's just my guess. But in general, for these recent Call of Duty games, they have been taking up a lot of space because honestly, there's been more content than ever put into these games. That's just how it's been. It's not like the old days where a DLC map pack might have been roughly a gig or so. We are getting significantly more playable content, and the content itself
the whole
is
year,
higher in resolution.
four
and even though they're doing
DLCs,
everything they can
games.
to try to compress and bring down file sizes, they are still going to be big. So if that is a breaking point for you, then that's just how it's got to be. Again, I'm not the person that makes the game. I can't compress the file sizes. I'm just telling you guys this is how it is. But yes, as of now, that's all the information we have about Call of Duty Black Ops 6's multiplayer. Thank you guys very much for watching this video. I really did want to do my best to try to cover and share all of the information that I possibly could with you guys. It actually took quite a bit of time to put all this together and get all this info ready, so I'd greatly appreciate it if you could like this video, subscribe if you want to see some more Black Ops stuff, and also share this with anyone else that might want to know.
Like I said, I'm ready. Y'all seen that video when I told y'all how to get ready for this game, you know what I'm saying? Show y'all some, I ain't playing this here, man. All right, just to show y'all that I'm not playing. You see, I got that Vault Edition. If I go to this one, you know, I already got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. Might give me a new controller, you know. I don't know, man. But I gotta lock in for this one, man. 2,000. Hopefully we get to that 3,000 at the end of the year, or closer to the beginning of the year we get to that 3,000. Hopefully this game is good. After all that shit I'm listening to, they made me go back and keep watching it. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully I'm gonna find some more impressions. But yeah, bro, I got everything, bro. So yeah, we're gonna take this here very seriously, like always, man. If y'all new, subscribe. If you sit through that whole thing, subscribe, like, share. Bro, I'm out there, whole peace, man.